gonna go back to the $5,000 that I asked to be donated to economic development for the War of 1812 for advertising, and I still have that on the table. And I would still like to see that money go to Bernadette.
She'll get her money, but we're gonna do it at the budget time. It's the proper time to do those things.
The proper
You were the one
time
that
to-
used to fight against all these
I didn't,
piecemeal
I
budgets.
never fought against our
Alright.
businesses.
Oh.
I have the majority of businesses in my
Okay.
ward.
Well, I think the
And,
consensus of the council was that the budget time was the time for us to do that. That's coming up
Wow.
very soon, and you can make your motion again.
as far as the emails go, and I'd like you to speak up now, the emails that I've gotten from Pat is there's no reason why we couldn't appropriate $5,000 to Bernadette right now.
She said July's fine.
Actually, I talked to her Friday night, and she said if she gets a letter of commitment, the county would accept that. And that's far before July.
I think I'd be amenable to a letter of commitment.
I think the
I
commitment.
think,
In this fiscal year,
I get you. My thing being a new person, that was my second meeting, I have no idea what our margins are, if you follow me.
now, I wanna stop you there.
Okay.
Before the three of you were sworn in, you got copies of the budget via email, which I thought was very accommodating by the town office. When I was elected, I didn't get anything, and I came here and I sat in the seat and knew nothing. You were given copies of the budgets beforehand, you were also given the expense accounts, and you have been emailed as much information as possible. And when I ran on the budget. That was the basis for me running for this council seat. So, to me, I think you've had time to look at the budget, and I'm just gonna stick with it. It's a big event that's supposed to come to Chestertown. Even if there are 5,000 people show up and everybody spends $1, there's your $5,000.
I'm not in principle against this expense. What surprised me was Bernadette, in her presentation, didn't actually come out and ask us for money.
No, she didn't, I
You
did.
were- I know, but that became as a surprise to all of us, and there's no reason that we couldn't have been told a few hours before the meeting, I am going to propose a $5,000 expenditure tonight. All of a sudden, it comes out of nowhere, and I was taken aback.
It's not gonna be it's not the first
And-
time, and it's not gonna be the last time.
But
Well, I think we should have some forewarning when expenditures are gonna, like that, of that size, are gonna be proposed.
I don't even feel like we need forewarning as long as if we had, for example, a line item in the budget for just that type of situation.
I said
Well,
that.
and
Nancy comes-
We'll put $20,000
Yeah, exactly.
aside for
For
those
special
kind of
events and
things.
advertising.
Well,
And that's
did
fine.
Nancy
Then we
McGuire
say
suggest-
5,000 to come out of our $20,000 rainy day or
Yes.
whatever the heck you want
That
to
would
call
be
the
fine.
thing.
There
Fine.
isn't even a capital improvement,
That's a different-
line, you know, I mean,
Nancy McGuire suggested
for
that
the
very
visitors
thing
thing?
tonight, a
Or for the-
discretionary fund.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
We don't
idea.
have-
Well, you can call it discussion.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
do we have any money in it?
Our capital improvement are laid out as capital improvements, but they're not off of revenues from hotel tax.
No, I'm not
You know,
connecting
this is
that
just
with
like a lot
hotel
of
tax.
things that we wrestle with. There's enough money in the budget to do it this year or next year, if that's what the council wants it to be. I think that to the extent possible, you let each other know that you have an initiative that you think stands above our regular budgeting, and I'm with you on it. I mean, we spend too much arguing about what account is that gonna come out of.
Here it is.
Check the funds on hand and in the bank. Times are better than they were 2 years ago, so, and I think you make a good point that there's a lot of funding that came with the hotel taxes. In the beginning, nobody was using it for anything, and we built a visitor center and we staffed it. And we do many other things. We have a website, we've done a lot of things. We clean up after parades, we have police protection parades. Anything that goes to tourism probably has its genesis with those funds. So You can be generous, and we'll cover you, we'll show you, where you are at any point in the year. But we don't
Usually we do this at budget time, that's what I'm saying, so.
But I've been asking for these figures for over a week. We
But-
have
What you
over $90,000 that comes into, the town of Chestertown from the hotel tax. You have 48,000 goes to the Department of, 48,000 goes to the visitor center. What I've been asking for the past week is an itemized, list of FY13 expenses. An itemized list, vendors' costs.
For the visitor center? or
No,
for-
no, for the remainder, for the 42,000.
We don't budget, we don't budget for minor incomes specifically. We don't say, okay, here comes the money from hotel taxes. We don't even actually do it for all
But
the
there-
taxes that are paid for real estate.
But there were expenses. This money was spent. How was it spent and how much
What
was?
was spent?
$42,675.
For the visitor center.
No,
well,
you have 48,000 for the visitor
We sent
center.
you all this today.
I
You show
know,
me the other page.
but it's not itemized. It just says what can be used.
That's to guide you,
Yeah.
if you wanna say, did we spend every dime of the hotel tax for tourist activities? Then we can we can give you that, but it will have to be looking at, okay, how long did the police work on a parade this weekend, or the tea party, or whatever? The expenses at the visitor center do not add up to $90,000.
I can understand that $48,000 out of the 90,000 went to the visitor center. I wanna know where the rest of it was spent.
Into the general fund. It hasn't been spent, we're at mid-year,
FY13
Yeah.
specifically, where
Yeah.
was it spent?
it paid for the street crew to clean up after. It paid-
40-some thousand dollars?
Hey, I think she told you some of the other activities that were
Yeah,
tourism
right.
activities. Let's read it. Fireworks,
Fireworks, holiday decorating, music in the park, what is not covered by donations.
website management, cable TV, having our videographer here.
Advertisements in Discover Kent County, Earth Day, and
But
proposed,
even if it doesn't,
1812 donation.
I put that there for you. I
So it
believe
can
that this is
come
a
out
good
of
thing,
this
but I don't get the
fiscal
vote.
year.
Sure it could.
Okay,
And-
all right, that's all I
All right.
wanted to hear.
I'd
like to
Sure,
say
it
you're
would
asking
come
this
out
at
of this
budget time.
fiscal year.
You ought to move that.
I did.
Well, say it
It's
in a
meeting.
form of a motion.
I make a motion that we take $5,000 from the hotel tax revenue and give it to the, it's specifically, what is it now? A donation for advertising to the War of 1812. What's the title?
Like a matching grant.
Yeah, it's, they're collecting funds to match, a grant that they will get. The, grant is a matching grant for $67,048. Half of the match is $33,524. And I, make a motion that the town give $5,000 specifically from the hotel tax revenue.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
We
No,
got to a motion.
You can go too, Chris.
I'll vote in favor of it,
Yeah.
okay?
Thank
How
I
about
mean,
that?
it's a good thing, I'm not arguing.
I was
about
gonna vote in
it.
favor of it
It was the process.
For
that
the
we
next
went through
fiscal
last
year,
time.
because I think that's a clean
I was
way.
gonna vote for it in the budget meeting, there's no problem with that, but I just, I think we ought to know about these things. I agree with Liz. People come in here and then somebody wants to make a splash for themselves, so they spend our $5,000.
Let's
Of the
finish,
taxpayers.
let's finish the vote, and then I agree.
It's
Let's-
not the taxpayers' money, it comes out of the hotel tax revenue.
Okay, Linda, hold on. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Are you in favor?
Yes,
Okay.
aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, I
Okay.
said budget time, right, yeah.
Okay, so that is approved. I would suggest, I think we're on the same page, that in the budgeting process for the next fiscal year, it might behoove us to have a special line item for, like a discretionary amount of, say, $20,000.
It would be nice to have a separate budget for the hotel tax revenue.
And you know, as far as that goes, I think we can just have a justification in the budget process, your workshops, where you go, hotel taxes, and here are the items that we're gonna fund with.
Yes, and the amounts.
But as far as making it a discretionary account, we won't be doing that, it's just too many items. But I think you make a rationale for all these things. You spend over $90,000 a year, I guarantee it, and we're gonna work some numbers on just what it costs to have police out there all weekend or the street crew, and it's worth it. Please don't get me wrong, I'm saying that I think a lot of stuff we do is for tourism, 100%.
I would guess that we spend more than
Down
$100,000.
Rigging, anybody.